Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to another video. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you a few tips that you can practice to build up a strong mindset. Tip number 1 is to maintain a stable mindset in ups and downs in life, right? You know, life is like an ocean. Sometimes ocean is calm and quiet and peaceful, and sometimes it is stormy, right? We face ups and downs in life. The Buddha said these are called 8 worldly conditions, attaloka dhamma. That means praise and blame, gain and loss, fame and disgrace, and pleasure and pain. These are the 8 worldly conditions that we face in our life. Remember these things. So Buddha said, accept these ups and downs in life. Whenever people criticize you, whenever people blame you, whenever you go through tough times in your life, if you can be mindful about your mind and your emotions and your feelings, and not to chase after these emotions and feelings, then you can be more stable in these situations. You can maintain a good emotional balance in these situations. So it is very important to be mindful and to practice the self-awareness in these situations. And also remember, you will not be able to always get the sweet comments and sweet opinions and sweet experiences in your life. Life will give tough times to you. Life will throw lemons at you. So you have to maintain a stable mindset whenever you go through these situations by practicing the mindfulness and the self-awareness. Remember that. Tip number 2 is to build the resilience inside the mind. You know, the resilience means the ability to stand up and bounce back when you go through the adversities and when you go through the challenging situations in your life. To practice this, one thing that you have to know and one thing that you have to understand is that what is in your control and what is not in your control. If you have a good understanding about what is in my control in my life and what is not in my control in my life, right? For an example, if people comes up to you and if they're starting to criticize you, those criticisms, those words that other people speaks about you is not under your control. But what is in your control is your reaction to them. It is always a choice. You can think about this like, should I become angry with this? Should I take this negativity? Should I share this negativity with them and be negative as them? If you can question like that, then you're not ready to take that negativity. And also remember, having a strong mindset does not mean that you're falling down and you're feeling hurt and you're feeling down. Having a strong mindset means you can stand up as soon as possible when you go through these tough situations. You can quickly stand up and you can quickly retrieve back to the normal situations in your life. That is called the resilience. So to practice this, you have to have a good understanding about what is in your control in your life and what is not in your control. The experiences happens to you and the things that people say to you, other people's opinions, other people's thoughts about you is not under your control. But all the things that is inside your mind, your opinions about them, your reaction to those experiences, totally under your control. So if something is not under your control, you don't want to worry about it because you cannot make any change about it. But if something is under your control, definitely you can make a change about it. You can change your choice, but not others. So remember that. And also you have to cultivate a problem-solving mindset. If you're easily panicked by the problems, or if you're easily triggered by the problems, then it is not easy to solve the problems, right? But if you can maintain a calm and a peaceful mindset, even when you go through the problems or tough situations in your life, then it is very easy to go into the roots and solve the problems. Sometimes we take the problems as ourselves. Like we think we are the anger. I am this problem. Why is this happening to me? Right? Remember, everything that happens to you will be impermanent. It is not permanent thing, right? It will be changed one day. So what do you have to do? Keep that problem aside and try to dive into the roots of that problem. Ask from yourself, why this thing happened to me, right? What is the reason for this, right? What is the real reason for this? Where did I make the mistakes? And go to that problem, go to the root, and then you can solve that problem. That is how you build up a problem-solving mindset. And finally, tip number 3, last but not least, you have to practice a mindset of self-love and self-compassion. Remember, if you're loving yourself, if you truly love yourself, you're not going to take other people's negativity with you, right? You're not ready to take other people's negativity with you. Whatever the thing that comes up to you, whatever the person comes up to you and like bring their negativity with you, you say, well, I'm not going to take this negativity with me. I want to be peaceful. I want to love myself. I truly love myself. Therefore, I'm not ready to take your negativity. I'm not sharing this negativity with you. That is called self-love and self-compassion, right? To practice this, you can add up a simple practice that you can do it daily, right? When you get up early in the morning, just sit on your bed and think, no matter what happens during the day, I am going to love myself. I'm not going to take any negativity from this world, right? I'm going to empty my bin and I'm going to take a new bin to this world, right? Do you know if you've kept all the bad things and trash in your bin for a long time, what will happen? If you're in your trash bin, it will start to smell, no? But if you remove every single day all the trash in your bin and make it make it a clean place, then it's very easy to live. It's very easy to be peaceful within. So practice the self-compassion and self-love to build a strong mindset. Some people think that the people who are easily lose their temper, some people think that people who show their toughness and rudeness, they have this strong mindset. But no, anger and showing this negativity is not a sign of strength. It's a sign of weakness, right? If you are easily triggered by people, if you're easily triggered by the people's reactions, then it's not a strong mindset. The strong mindset is the mindset that is not disturbed by the ups and downs in your life. So practice these simple steps, right? Build a stable mindset, make your mind a resilient one, and finally, love yourself more than any other person in this world. When you practice these steps, you can build up a mindset that is unshaken by the ups and downs in your life. So I wish you all, may all of you find the happiness in your life. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. You know, life is like an ocean. There are some days in ocean, the ocean is full of storms. Some days there are big waves. Some days there are tornadoes. And there are some days the ocean becomes so calm and so peaceful. Life is also like that. In life, there are some days we are suffering with problems, difficulties, tough times, overwhelming situations. And there are some days our life is flowing like a cool stream of water. So this is the nature of love, our life. Our life is ever changing. It will not be the same every day. So it is the nature of our life to face the problems, challenges, difficult situations, tough times. So when people face such situations, many people try to find an answer or try to escape from these problems. And sometimes they choose the suicide. They try to quit their life. And they think that suiciding is the only answer for this problem. Remember, suiciding will never provide answers for your life problems. Our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, said, Kicho manussa patilabho, kichang machana jivitang. It is very rare that you get a human life. This human life that we received is a rare chance. Now Buddha explained to us, we are coming from a long journey of rebirth, and that is called samsara. So this is a never-ending journey of rebirth. So while coming in these rebirths and throughout these births, we all have suffered. We all have cried. We all have fell down, and we all have faced problems, which is the nature of our life, which is a part of our life actually. So, quitting your life and try to restart a new one will never give any answer. Why? Because Supreme Buddha said, where there is birth, there is suffering. Right? If you are born in one place, at the same moment, you get the suffering. So what are the sufferings that we get from the birth? When we are born to this world, definitely the death is coming behind us. That is one of the sufferings. Right? Sickness is following us. Isn't that true? And we all are subjected to sickness. We all fall ill. Right? That is another suffering. Okay? All days, we day by day, we are getting old. So that is one of the sufferings. And also, we have to be departed from our loved ones. Right? When we are born to this world, there are people around us. There are things which gives the pleasure to us. At some points in our life, we have to be departed from these things. That is common for everyone. And also, we will not get what we like always. That is another suffering. We will have physical pain. We will have mental suffering. That is what you call the life. So, if you decide to suicide, if someone decides to suicide and start a new life, then he will be reborn again and in one place. And in there also, you will get the same sufferings. So it is not the answer for your life problems. Remember that. So, if you are in the middle of a problem, if you are in the middle of a overwhelming and difficult situations, right? Don't think that you should suicide yourself. Remember, you only need a little help, not suicide. Right? Remember, you only need a little help. You don't want suicide. Right? So what you have to do when the suicidal thoughts comes to your mind, the first thing that you have to do is you have to be open. Right? Don't hide those emotions. Don't hide those sad emotions into yourself. Go out and talk with someone who you can keep your trust with him. It may be your parents. Sometimes it may not be your parents. It may be one of your friends or one of your elders, one of your teachers, mentors, whoever they are. Go and talk to them openly right? But you have to be very careful when you choose the person. You have to tell to a person who you can trust. Okay? So the first thing that you have to do is to be open. Don't stress up, don't pack up all the emotions inside. Now, most of the times when we face difficult situations, when the problems are coming to our life, what we do is we hide in the corners and the dark rooms, and what we do is we keep on thinking and thinking and thinking. We are building all those evil thoughts inside. But if you step out of the loneliness, and if you go out and if you have a little chat with the elders or the ones who you can trust, then you may get some advice and you may get some help to your problem. So being open is very important in your life. That's the first thing. And also that you need to have the self-love, self-compassion, right? You need to love this thing, right? You don't have the right to destroy this thing because no one invited to this world, and also you didn't decide to come to this world, and also you don't have the right to leave this world with your own opinions, right? So what you have to do, you have to love yourself. Now, most of the time we say, I love you. We say that we love someone, right? I love you, my parents, I love my girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, whoever they are. But very rarely we say, I love myself. So if you have self-love, self-compassion, then you can manage all those suicidal thoughts and the difficult situations, right? Though the whole world abandoned you in the problems, you should not abandon yourself. If you love yourself, don't abandon yourself in the middle of the problems, right? Love yourself. Take yourself out of that darkness, right? You can try many ways, like talking to your elders and mentors, having a good help to your life. So through these things, you can develop yourself and you can have a little help to your life, little push to your life, and then you can pass on and you can go through the difficult situation. Remember, the difficult situations, experiences, evil experiences, bad, sad days are not permanent. Now, do you find storms and turbulence and tornadoes every day in the ocean? You don't find them. For one day, there may be a storm. In the other day, it will be calm. It will be so peaceful. So life is also like that, right? Don't think that your life is going to be so miserable if you are in problems. You have a future. You can go through them, and one day there will be a day that your life become more peaceful and more happy. But if you quit your life in that instant where you face the problems, you don't have the ability to enjoy this life, enjoy the coming good days. So I need to give you three important pieces of advice to make your life so much better. Number one, right? Do not reply or do not take action when you are angry. Whenever you are angry, don't react. Say nothing and do nothing. Number one. Number two, don't make promises to other people. Don't give promises to other people when you are too happy. When you are too happy, you try to give supernatural promises to other people. Don't do that. And the third advice is never take decisions whenever you are sad. Most of the time, people take decisions when they are sad and they quit their life, they suicide. That is the worst time to take a decision. So I need you to practice and have these 3 advices in your life and practice them and find the happiness in your life and enjoy this life. And remember, this human life is so valuable. So make the good out of your life. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to yet another episode in Inner Guide Q&A program. Now in today's video, we are going to learn how to correct a mistake that has done by a person without hurting their feelings. First of all, we all have to know that we all are humans and we make mistakes. We all make mistakes, right? You, I, we all are the people who are making mistakes. For sometimes, when we are dealing with people, when we live with people around us, we will see that the people around us are making mistakes. They do wrong things. Sometimes they may be the people who love you most. So in such times, we have to correct them. We have to show the correct path and we have to put them into the correct way. But when we do that, we do it in an unsuccessful way. Most of the time, we use anger, resentment, we use punishments to correct people. Remember, when you use anger, when you use the punishments, when you use the resentment to show the correct path to people, they will never correct their mistakes, right? Because when someone's mind is in anger, right, he cannot understand what is good and what is bad, what should be done and what should not be done. So there is a way, and there is a proper way to correct a mistake of a person. So how to do that? Now this way was taught by our great Arahant Sariputta. Our great Arahant Sariputta says that you need to establish 5 things inside your mind before reproving someone or before correcting a mistake that has done by a person. So what are these 5 things? Number 1, remember, you need to speak at the proper time. That means you need to show the mistake of that person at the proper time. So what is the proper time to show a mistake to a person? Remember, never show a mistake to a person when that person is in anger. Because when your mind is in anger, you cannot know what is good and what is bad and what should not be done and what should be done. Therefore, you need to wait until that person cools down. Right? Don't show the mistakes to people when they are in anger. They will never correct their mistakes. Right? That is the first step. And the second step, never show mistakes to people in public. Right? When that person is surrounded by some other people, never talk about their mistakes. Why? Because in these days, people have a bigger personality, right? People show a big image to the society, right? You have a Facebook account, you have an Instagram account, you are on social media, and you show something to this society, and you think that you are a person, and you are like a kind of a person in this society. So when you show a mistake of that person in front of others, right? When you complain to that person in front of people, remember, you are not only damaging his mind, you're damaging his personality. Remember, damaging to one's personality is one of the most dangerous and most worst thing that a human can undergo. Therefore, never show the mistakes to people in front of others. If you want to show a mistake to a person, talk to them privately, right? Bring him under a shade or maybe a calm and quiet place and talk to them, right? They will like to hear that, right? So never show the mistakes to people in front of others. So that is the proper time. And the second thing, Arahant Sariputta said, you need to speak truthfully, right? That means you need to complain to the person that has done the mistake exactly, not to other people. Because sometimes, because of the misunderstandings, because of miscommunications, we complain to the people who have not done any mistake, right? We make false accusations. When someone is going through a false accusation, it is very hard for that person. Remember. Therefore, before complaining to someone, before showing a mistake to a person, find that exactly has this person done this mistake or not. Okay? So you need to be truthful. You need to find whether this person has done this mistake or not. Do not make false accusations. That is the second one. Number 3, Arahant Sariputta said, you need to speak gentle words. Never use harsh and rude words to explain the things to people, to explain the mistakes to people, right? When you use the hard and rude words, like the words of anger, right, they will shut their ears, they will shut their eyes. They don't like to hear the rude words. In case no one likes to hear rude words, right? Therefore, if you need to explain a mistake that has done by someone else, then speak kind and gentle words, right? Speak heartwarming words. Then they will start to hear that, because we have a higher sensitivity to love and kindness. Therefore, use the words of love and kindness to explain the mistakes to people. Then they will correct their mistakes. And number 4, Arahant Sariputta said, you need to speak in a beneficial way. Remember that. That means when you are speaking and when you are explaining that mistake to that person, you need to give that feeling that this person, the reason why this person is explaining this mistake to me is because he loves me, right? He wishes the development of me. That is why he's showing this mistake to me. You need to give that feeling to that person. So how to give that? So there's a way to show a mistake to a person. There's a way to complain about a mistake to a person. It's like this. First of all, you need to talk to that person privately. And first of all, in the first step, what you have to do is you need to give a value to that person. Let's say, for an example, one of your co-workers made a mistake. Now you have to show that mistake. So first of all, you need to give a value to his profession. You need to give a value to what he's doing in a company, right? First of all, you need to say, you are doing a great job in this company. You have a great value. You give a great value to this company, right? When you're praising that person, he will open their eyes and ears. And then in the second step, you need to show the mistake, but you have done this mistake, right? You're doing this mistake. Because of doing this mistake, because you are doing this mistake, there is a huge disadvantage for the company as well as for you. You have to explain like that. Then after that, after explaining the mistake to them, as the third step, again, you need to give a value to his profession, or you need to give a value to his life, right? You are doing a great job, so do not do this mistake again. You need to correct this. If you explain the mistake in that way, remember, everyone who you need to show the mistakes will correct their mistakes, right? And in the final thing, right, Arahant Sariputta said, you need to speak with a heart of loving kindness, right? Not while harboring the hatred thoughts. Because so many people show the mistakes to other people, right? To maybe to your children, maybe to your husband or wife or colleagues or co-workers, whoever it is. You get the anger to your mind and then you start to speak, right? Never do that. You need to be kind to the people. You need to have the compassion inside you. With that, you can do a great job, right? You can heal others' hearts. And also, you can correct the mistakes of people successfully. So, you need to use your word wisely and properly, because your words can change the lives of people. Words are so powerful, it can make people, and also, in the same way, it can break people. Therefore, when you show the mistakes to people, you need to speak kindly, gently, and in the proper time with a mind of love and kindness. So try this out and see the difference of your life. Namo Buddhaya. Buddha was a great listener. At one time, one man comes up to the Buddha and he starts insulting him, right? He starts blaming him. All through that incident, the only thing that Buddha did was he listened to that person. And also remember, do not listen to someone just to reply to them or just to give your opinion to them. Always listen to people to understand about their situation, to understand who the person behind these words. Still, I can remember this incident. When I was little, when I was at school, one of my teachers came to our noisy classroom and she asked from us, do you know why you have given 2 ears and 1 mouth? Then she said, the reason why we have given 2 ears and 1 mouth is to talk less and to listen more. Ladies and gentlemen, when we deal with people in our relationship life, in your family life, in your workspace, if you have this quality of active listening, that can help you in many ways. This quality can help you in many ways. Okay? Now, so many people come to our temple and they talk with the monks with their problems and about their family problems, the problems in the workspace. And there's one thing that they all say, and that is, they say, they are not listening to me. They are not willing to pay attention to me. They cannot understand me. That is one thing that they say. So, if you have the art of active listening, if you practice the art of active listening, you will be liked by many people, right? People always like to talk with someone who is paying more attention to them, right? If you consider about the Buddha, Buddha was a great listener. At one time, one man comes up to the Buddha and he starts insulting him, right? He starts blaming him. All through that incident, the only thing that Buddha did was he listened to that person, right? He paid a good attention to that person. And in another time, one lady comes with her son died on her hand, and she was wailing and she was lamenting in front of the Buddha. And the only thing that the Buddha did was, he paid attention to that lady's suffering, right? He listened to that lady's suffering. So if you can practice this art of active listening, if you can listen more and talk less, people will start to like you. Remember that. For an example, if you come up to me, right? If you wanted to talk about a problem that you are having in your life, and from the beginning of the conversation, if I started to give you instructions and give you the advice and my opinions about that problem, what would you feel? You will start to think like, this monk cannot understand me. He's not willing to pay attention to me. He's not willing to listen to me. So practice this art of active listening. So how can we practice the listening? Well, the Buddha said that all the words that we speak from our mouth is pre-processed in our mind. That means we think first all these words and then we put it into our mouth and we speak. So if we can be mindful about what we think, what is going on in our mind, then it is very easy to control what you speak. And then it is very easy to know when to speak and when not to speak. So this practice is called, being mindful about the thoughts is called Chittanupassana in Buddhism, right? For that, the only thing that we have to do is like just sit in a quiet place and just watch our thoughts, what comes to our mind. We don't want to react with that thought. We don't want to chase behind that thought. Just identify the thought as just a thought. That is one practice that you can practice to be a good listener. And also, there's another way to practice this listening ability is to engage in conversations and try to listen more to that person. So in the next conversation that you're having, try this out. Go to someone, and if they wanted to talk with you, just from the beginning of the conversation, tell it to yourself that I'm going to listen to this person more. I'm going to pay attention to this person more. That is one way of paying and showing your love and affection to the person that is in front of you, right? That is why lending a good ear and listening to someone and sharing their suffering or problems with them is one way of showing your compassion and love towards them. Okay, so in the next conversation, when you go through that, just listen more to them. Let them put out what is in their mind. And when they go silent, and then you have to ask some more questions. Tell me, how did you do that, right? How it happened, right? Tell me more about the details that happened. Then they will be more interested in talking with you, and they will start to like you and love you. When you practice this, then you will get used to this active listening, okay? And also remember, do not listen to someone just to reply to them or just to give your opinion to them. Always listen to people to understand about their situation, to understand who the person behind these words, and to understand the intention behind these words. When you do that, then you will become an active and a good listener, and then you will be liked by many people. So that is all about the active listening. Be mindful about your thoughts and listen more than you talk. Keep that in your mind. Namo Buddhaya.